Welcome to our second behavior video. This is uh, for behavior number 10, which is listen effectively. I think that this behavior in this video follows very nicely behind the behavior video that Cindy did last week, which related to communicate to understand. With communications, obviously it takes more than one person, and with verbal communications, the ability to listen effectively and actually hear what the other party is saying so we can all act upon it is obviously extraordinarily important. Um, I think that in today's business world, it has probably become more challenging to listen effectively because we probably don't do it as much. And I say that because of the use now of email and even texting that has made its way into the business world and really probably for most of us is how we do most of our business communication is through some type of written communication of email and texting. That makes it harder because we don't talk as much. And so I think the listening aspect gains even more importance. Another issue that I think we deal with when trying to listen effectively today is trying to listen above the distractions of the iPhone or the BlackBerry or even the iPad or someone having an email open on their desk. I know we've all been in situations where we're talking to someone and their phone starts to buzz or ring, and someone decides to look at that rather than continue to engage in the conversation. So I think as a company, what we want to do is recognize this and try very hard to, when we are speaking with someone or someone is speaking to us, to not be distracted while listening and hear what it is that they have to say so we can really carry out some of the other behaviors such as doing things right the first time and having attention to paying attention to detail. If we're not listening effectively and we don't hear everything, that's sometimes when problems arise. In doing some of the research for this video, really what I found was there was significantly more or just as much information with regard to ineffective listening than effective listening. And I would encourage everyone to go out and Google both ineffective and effective listening, because I think that will get into to the topic in greater detail than I can on this video. But a couple of the main points that I saw and came across with regard to effective listening are number one, when you're speaking with someone or someone is speaking to you, try to actually listen and not, in effect, wait to speak. I think there's a difference between waiting to speak and not really hearing what the other person is saying and just waiting for your turn to say what you want to say, that you're not really hearing the main point or what it is the other person is saying. So the first common theme that I saw in a lot of the information, and I think that have experienced that, is the waiting to speak. The second really is either interrupting or changing the topic in mid-sentence. So if someone is speaking to you, really listen to what it is they're saying and let them finish their thought rather than in mid-sentence or before they finish their thought, in essence, anticipating what you think they want to say and jumping in and either finishing their thought or actually changing the subject or going in another direction. And that's something that again, I think we've probably all experienced and is something that comes up in a lot of the articles that I read. So it appears to be a fairly common issue that I think, again, what we're hoping to do with these behaviors is to recognize it as an issue and all try to work on it. The last really big topic with regard to listening, whether it be effective or ineffective, is the pervasive use of Blackberries and iPhones and how it really causes distracted listening. Again, I think it's an issue we're all aware of, but we want to use these behaviors and the behavior videos to, again, just draw to everyone's attention. To the extent that you can, when you're speaking to somebody, turn your iPhone or your BlackBerry to silent, and do your best to give that person your full attention. As I said at the beginning, listening effectively, I think, follows in very closely with communication to communicate to be understood. I think these are two really good behaviors that work together that help us accomplish a lot of the goals in the other behaviors. So thank you for listening.